if you're beginning, we're talking about building a career step by step. Okay. So what should we do at different stages in the career? Okay. To ace that part of it. That's what we're going to talk about now. Okay. So let's look at what are the traits we get. Okay. After graduation also, we'll go through all different stages. We'll go through all different stages. We're going to talk about when you're a student. We're going to talk about when you've graduated and you're in a gap, which you still not in employment in practice. Okay, you were in a gap period. What should you do in the gap period? And then we'll also talk about what should you do when you already got a job. Okay. See, if you, the chances are, if you are done all of this in your student, you will not have a lot of gap period. I'm telling you this. If you've done this, like, if you've done all of this in your student duration, you will not have much of a gap period. Okay, so let's look at that. What's it? Read with a different intention. Okay, why do we read in our law college? To get a good grade, to learn, to interpret, to get a good grade, but largely to get a good grade. Okay, and largely to learn. Okay, this is the crux of it. That's why we read. Okay, to learn. This is what Ayushman has got it, to understand how to apply. Guys, read it with that sense. Okay, so when you're reading, somewhere between the lines there should be lots of questions buzzing in your head. Okay, lots of questions buzzing in your head. And when that happens, you will actually look out for the answers for that. Okay, because in your college duration or anywhere, wherever you are doing something that's a professional course or wherever, whatever you are reading, when you're reading, don't read with the intention of, working on a specific assignment or a project that you have, working on, like, or getting good grades or just learning. Read with the intention that if you are in this position, if you have to use this or apply this, then how are you going to do that? Okay, because that will put in lot of questions in your brain. Okay, one way to do it, for example, just let's assume that you're reading FEMA. Okay, and you are reading the FDI policy, and you are reading about eligible investee companies, eligible investing companies, investor companies, entities. You're going to read with that. Now in your mind, if you frame up a question, let's assume I want to start a company right here in my town where I am, which is going to take FDI. Okay, and I have to do it. I'm the businessman. Okay, put yourself in that shoes. I'm the businessman. I have to start it. I want to do it. How am I going to go about it? Okay, now this law says that eligible investor is this, eligible investee is this. Am I an eligible investee? By the way, if it is my this business, you're going to look through the FDI policy and search and try to find out the answer. And that's how you deal with, the curiosity. Okay, like you have read, there'll be people who, I mean, I'm looking at a laptop here. It's a laptop. I'm using it for my work, but someone else will look at it in a completely different manner. Okay, and the question inside the brain is, how does this work? Okay, how does this keypad work? Okay, what is inside this machine? Okay, what should you change to make it? Because that's the way they look at it. Okay, so when you look at law like that, with a dissection view, with a view, a mechanical engineer kind of view, okay, that how are you going to, what's inside this? What's the logic behind this? I had one sort of actually, like, doing the logic behind all the laws. Because once you come to know that, you will know the next provisions automatically. Because you know that that's the logic with which this law has been framed. Okay, so you are going to know, you will, in your mind, you will know that there must be some restriction like this. Even if you don't know any of the sections, you will have a hindsight that because this law has been brought into place to do this, there must be some section or some provision which stops this or enables this. Okay, so you read with a very different intention. When you read with a mechanical engineer kind of intention, you will get a lot of things out of it. Curiosity will, like, kick in, and you will try to locate answers, and that's what will stay in your head forever. That will stay. That's the kind of thing that will stay. You read it to learn, to pass the grades. You're going to forget it. Now, distinguish yourself as a student. How? By topping the class? Well, sure, that's one way to do it. You by topping the class. Uh, we had someone, and this is very curious to know. Like, we had one person who would venture to answer all questions in the class. Okay, he will venture to answer all questions in the class, whether he knew it or he didn't know it. And his way of doing it was, he will raise his hand and he will begin with, I may be wrong. Okay, he will begin with, I may be wrong, but this is what I think. Okay, and later part of the things, he began to be known as a disclaimer clause. Like, people used to call him disclaimer clause. But what happened because of that is, like, it was very clear and apparent to the people who were teaching that he's trying to apply his brain to that situation. He's giving his inputs. Okay, he's using and he's applying whatever is going on to that situation. Although he may be putting a disclaimer clause with everything, that's okay. But he distinguished himself as a student. Okay, and then what happened was, one of the people leading the session, he did this at his session also. And this guy was an advising consultant on some government company. And he took him, like, he recommended this guy because he was very fascinated by what um, this person applied his mind to and how he thought. So you distinguish yourself as a student from the whole lot of crowd that you have. Some way you're going to get a benefit out of it. Find which internships are likely to give you good exposure. This is very relevant, okay, because you don't want to take up everything that doesn't add into your work or your career somewhere. I know it's very difficult to come by. I know it can be very difficult for you to choose most of the time. Uh, we don't get to choose because there'll be many people who apply for that internship, and there will be many people who are going to be selected for what we also want to take. Now, everybody wants an internship with CAM. Everybody wants an internship with Trilegal. Okay, everybody wants an internship with Luthra. So that's not, you find a place which is likely to give you a really good exposure, okay, where you have boutique firms or niche firms which are going to give you an exposure in the area where you have really set your heart to. Okay, it may be even independent practitioners, okay, which will give you exposure, really good exposure to where you have set your heart to. It may be even chartered accountants somewhere. It may be company secretaries. You have to find a area which will give you good exposure. What is the work they're doing, and what is the work that you are likely to get? Okay, so you and prefer kind of long-term internships. This is, I think, said often. Prefer long-term internships in such places where you are getting good work to do. Okay, and let the work be thrown at you. Don't worry about that. Okay, in the first few weeks or something, you will be completely, like, you will be overwhelmed with everything, and you may not know, and you will struggle. But if that is happening, if you are struggling, you know how to do the work. It is so much of things like that, and it's not like, where you want to apply your mind. It's actually a good sign. Okay, because what means it means that you're going to go out of your comfort zone if you're uncomfortable. Okay, it will make you think, it will make you do work which you have not done until now. That's why you're feeling uncomfortable. Okay, and in some time you will become very familiar with that. Finding a good boss is necessary in early days. This will help us getting nurtured, but getting good boss is very difficult because you can't really find out people who are going to do that. Firms aren't taking internships, no problem. Look at independent lawyers who are going to do the work. Okay, but you have to find out who is doing this work in that area. It may not be a very well-known person. See, understand this. It may not be a very well-known person. But if they're giving the work, if they're throwing the work at you, which you want to grab and learn with both your hands, then that's where you should go, and you should give long-term internships to that. Okay. So if you look at like smaller firms, mid-tier firms, independent practitioners work, like I was told, in fact, by someone, when I started out, okay, when I started out and graduated, the things had just changed from FERA to FEMA. Okay, when I graduated, it was the FEMA had just been brought into effect, and I was very much into it. And I was actually given an advice that people who are working in the FEMA area, just why don't you, it's okay to not get any salary at the moment. Just go and talk to them, approach them, and tell them that, you know, you're gonna work there. And I actually went, like, you know, I actually went and approached the chartered accountant. Okay, and I saw his YouTube videos, and I just, like, you know, I went to him and I told him, okay, this is not at that time, this is a little bit later, but yeah, I went out to him and I told him that I've seen your YouTube videos and I find, like, you know, really good content in them. You have a, you from the way you speak, you have a really good knowledge about FEMA and everything. I just directly wrote an email to him. Okay, and then this guy, the response that I get is, I'm really impressed by your direct approach, because no one is doing that. Okay, people will do that only at a point of time when there is a vacancy or something like that. But you're following independent practitioners in that area, for that area which you are really keen on. Okay, you go on and you approach them directly. What will happen at best? They'll say no. Okay, but you don't go and tell them that give me internship. That's not how you do that. Okay, you're going to talk to them that, you know, like, you really want to learn, because you've seen something and you want to learn from them. So how do you go about that? You know, and that's where you will make a mark. You just don't go and bog them and say that I want an internship with you. That's not how it will work. Okay, or I want to get the an internship with a firm. That's not how it will work.